Hello students, in molecular basis of inheritance, we were seeing about translation process. Of course, I was giving you some introduction related to translation. In the previous lecture, we saw what is the role of tRNA. tRNA is nothing but a transfer RNA, we are telling. It will transfer the amino acids from the amino acid pool to the ribosome or to the protein synthetic factories, we can say. That transferring the amino acid is the work of tRNA molecule. In the previous lecture, I told you about a genetic code dictionary also. That deciphering of genetic code was done by several scientists actually. By using different techniques, they have deciphered the 64 codons of the mRNA. So remember, mRNA has got codons in it. That codons are in the form of triplet. Each triplet will code for one amino acid. We have seen that point. Now let us see about the structure of tRNA molecule here. tRNA. tRNA is otherwise known as transfer RNA, it can be called, or otherwise it can be also known as soluble RNA, it can be called, okay, soluble RNA, or otherwise it can also be known as supernatant RNA also, supernatant RNA. In addition to that, there is one more name given for the tRNA, that is known as adapter RNA also. So, tRNA is otherwise called as adapter RNA also. Why it is called adapter RNA means it is acting like a connective, otherwise what is that, a bond between mRNA and amino acids actually. Try to listen this point. mRNA has got codons in it in the form of triplets. Each triplet will code for one amino acid. We saw that one. In the previous lecture, I told you how mutation can change that mRNA codons also, and how it should be read contiguously also we have seen. Now the point is, mRNA has got codon. Let us imagine first codon is AUG. Now, according to AUG, methionine should come and bind here. Methionine amino acid should come and bind here. So, how methionine knows that it has to come to this place, first position only? How the amino acid knows? It is the language of nucleotide. Amino acid is structurally different. Nucleotides are different structurally. So, when two different molecules are there, we need an adapter, we need a binding agent in between. A vehicle, a transporting agent is needed for this purpose. That is why it is called adapter molecule, we are telling. While charging our phones or other electronic equipments, we use adapters. That in the main switch, there will be heavy voltage. But it is not, so much voltage is not required for the phone, means we use an adapter which will convert it according to the gadget. In the same way, amino acid is different, nucleotide is different. These two must be done, or they must be adapted with each other. Who is doing that adapter work means that is the tRNA molecule. So let me tell you about structure of tRNA for some important 5-mark question. Let us deal here about a tRNA molecule. Remember, tRNA is considered as the smallest RNA present in our cell, we can say. It is the smallest type of RNA. mRNA is bigger one, and this smaller one is this tRNA, we can say. Hardly this tRNA is made up of 80 to 90 nucleotides only. Number of nucleotides present in the tRNA will be very much minimum, 80 to 90 only will be present. Among these nucleotides, normal nucleotides are adenine, guanine, cytosine and uracil in the RNA molecule. In addition to this normal nucleotides, the tRNA will be having some unusual bases also in it. They will be having some unusual bases in them. Remember, tRNA has got a normal bases A, C, U, G. In addition to that, it will have some unusual bases also. What are those unusual bases? One of them will be called as DHU, otherwise dihydroxyuridine it can be called. Another one is known as T-cysteine, otherwise pseudouridine it can be called. So because of the presence of dihydroxyuridine, pseudouridine and all, the tRNA molecule will not remain as a long or linear chain of nucleotides. Actually, mRNA is linear chain. In mRNA linear chain, there will be 5 prime, 3 prime polarity will be there. But in tRNA, it will not have linear chain. It will have some loops here and there actually. It is tRNA is not a linear lengthy chain. It will become looped here and there. Why those loops are there? Because of the presence of unusual bases in them. What are those unusual bases? Dihydroxyuridine and pseudouridine we can say. Now listen, due to the presence of these loops, a tRNA molecule will have a characteristic clover leaf-like structure. It will be having, it was discovered. So scientists have discovered that a tRNA molecule will be having a clover leaf-like structure, it is called. This model of tRNA is known as clover leaf model, it can be called. Clover refers to what? That something like a lavanga which has got 3 foliates like that. In this way also 3 arms are present in this tRNA molecule. Why they have got 3 arms, why they are not in linear form means because of the presence of dihydroxyuridine and pseudouridine we can say. Now listen, this type of structure was first reported in bacteria only. In the beginning, alanine carrying, otherwise phenylalanine carrying tRNA was explained by the scientist. First explained tRNA is known as what? Phenylalanine tRNA. That tRNA is useful for transferring the phenylalanine molecule. So it is called phenylalanine tRNA. From which organism it was extracted and studied means from certain bacteria like E. coli only. So bacterial phenylalanine tRNA was studied first. Based on that study, or based on that X-ray diffraction and other things, scientists, they have elucidated the model of tRNA here. That model is called as what? That clover leaf model we can say. For DNA we proposed duplex model. For tRNA it is called a clover leaf model. Who proposed this clover leaf model means one scientist called as Robert Halley. Robert Halley is the name of the scientist who proposed that clover leaf structure of tRNA molecule. Let me explain you about this tRNA molecule here. It has got 4 arms in it. There are 4 arms present in the tRNA molecule and 3 loops are present in the tRNA molecule. Why they got loops? Because of the pseudouridine and all these things. Now listen carefully. What are those 3 loops we name here means? Imagine this is the 5 prime end of the tRNA molecule. This will become the 3 prime end of the tRNA molecule. Let us imagine. It has to be a linear chain. But due to the presence of these loops, they have attained some L-shaped, otherwise clover leaf-shaped structure. First reported tRNA is phenylalanine tRNA. It has got 5 prime end, 3 prime end. Nearer to the 5 prime end, there is one arm called as DHU arm is present in the tRNA molecule. I told you already, DHU refers to dihydroxyuridine. It is present closer to the 5' end, we can say. And in the middle, otherwise what is the just opposite to the polarity. This arm is called as anticodon arm, we are telling. Very important point it is called anticodon loop or anticodon arm, it can be called. What is the speciality of anticodon means? It will have specially arranged 3 nucleotides in it. There are 3 nucleotides present in the anticodon loop. Those 3 nucleotides will be complementary to the codon. Remember this point. mRNA has got codon. Suppose AUG is the codon present in the mRNA. Then what will be the anticodon of the tRNA molecule? This is tRNA anticodon arm I am drawing. It will have complementary bases to the AUG. For example, A is here means it will be U here, uracil. U is here means it will be AN and C, UAC will be the anticodon. tRNA will have anticodon. mRNA will have codon. This was asked in board examination 2 years before. Where do you find codons and anticodons? In one more question it was asked. Codons are found in mRNA, anticodons are found in tRNA, that's all. Which arm is carrying a tRNA anticodon? It is called anticodon loop or anticodon arm, it can be called. When we come to the 3' end, towards the 3' end, here another arm is present, that is called as T-C arm, we are telling, or pseudouridine arm, it can be called. That is called pseudouridine arm. And when you come to the 3' end here, it has got 3 specific nucleotides, namely C, C, A, like that. Otherwise, ACC, you can remember that ACC arm is 3' arm. What about 5'? It has got guanine only. Just like mRNA, it has got guanine cap, G cap. Like that, here also G cap is there. But tail is not made up of adenine only. Poly A tail is not present. It has got a CCA tail in this case. So remember students, this is the structure of a tRNA molecule. It has got a characteristic clover leaf structure. In this clover leaf structure, 4 arms are present, 3 loops are present. What are those loops? One is called DHU loop, another one is anticodon loop, third one is T-C loop, it can be called. At 5' end, one guanine is present. At 3' end, one ACC nucleotides are present, otherwise CCA it can be called. Now remember, it is the structure of phenylalanine. Like this, for 20 types of amino acids, there will be 20 types of tRNA actually. They will have their specific anticodon, we can say. Even sometimes more than that number of tRNA may also be present. Why means? There will be degenerating codons also. So that also have to be understood means there will be many number of tRNA available in our cytoplasm. Some of the tRNAs may have one extra arm also here between the T-C and the anticodon. So that is T-C arm. Now listen. What is the main function of tRNA? It has got anticodon in it. What is the purpose of anticodon? It will bind with or it can recognize or it will be complement with codon present in the mRNA. Our problem is mRNA has got nucleotide. Amino acids are having no nucleotide. That is a different language. So between them we need a bridge. We need an adapter. That adapter will, one side it will recognize mRNA. Another side it will bring the amino acid. Another side it will carry the amino acid. So tRNA has got two functions. It should recognize the codon as well as it should bring the proper amino acid also. Now listen carefully. What is the role of this 3' end means? In this ACC end only, the amino acid will come and bind here. Whichever amino acid is required, that will come and bind with the which end? ACC end only. So, dear students, out of 4 arms, ACC end is called as amino acid binding site, it can be called. It is the amino acid binding site. Where amino acid will come and bind, it will bind at the ACC end, 3' end only. Why it is special? It is the carrier of amino acid. Now remember here, according to the anticodon, that particular amino acid will come and bind with the 3' end. If UAC is the anticodon, this tRNA will carry only methionine at its tip. Here methionine only will come and bind, not phenylalanine. If tRNA has got a phenylalanine anticodon for phenylalanine, only phenylalanine will come and bind here, not a methionine. So they are specific in the carrying of amino acid, we can say. tRNA molecule is specific for its amino acid. How means it has got anticodon. That anticodon will it will be complement with the codon in the mRNA. So one side it will recognize mRNA, another side it will carry the particular or specific amino acid it will carry. Now this is the role of ACC arm, I can say. What is the role of DHU arm means? DHU arm is there, it is responsible for activation of amino acid, we can say here. It is responsible for activation of amino acid. Which amino acid should be brought? That amino acid will be activated, it will be energized by the arm called as DHU arm, we can say. What is the third arm? Anticodon arm or anticodon loop, we can say. This anticodon loop will recognize or otherwise it will complement codon present in the mRNA. It will complement the codon. Anticodon will complement the codon, remember. Then what is the role of a T-Cyc arm means? T-Cyc arm is there, it will recognize ribosome actually. Ribosome recognition is done by T-Cyc arm. In the cytoplasm, there will be many ribosomes. So which ribosome need that particular amino acid for recognizing that T-Cyc arm is there? There are many factories. Which factory needs this particular amino acid? Which factory needs the particular raw material? That is recognized by T-Cyc arm, we can say. So there are 4 arms present in the tRNA molecule. 3' end binds with amino acid, that is called ACC end, we can say. DHU arm is responsible for activating the amino acid. Anticodon loop is responsible for recognizing, otherwise complementing the codon. Codon is present in mRNA. To complement it, anticodon will be helpful. Then T-Cyc arm is responsible for recognizing the ribosome. Factory should be recognized. Raw material should be activated. Message should be read. And raw material should be carried also. Carrying the raw material, activating the raw material, recognizing the factory and reading the message. These 4 works are done by the adapter molecule. Who is called adapter molecule? It is tRNA. Who proposed the structure of tRNA? It is Robert Halley. A characteristic structure called clover leaf model was proposed by Robert Halley. Of course, he got Nobel Prize for this discovery also. It is the smallest type of RNA contain unusual bases in it. Due to the presence of unusual bases, it forms some, what is that, loops here and there. 3 loops are there, 4 arms are there. This molecule is playing an important role during translation. So remember about tRNA structure. We will continue after 2 seconds. Okay, just remember. So students, the main function of tRNA is bringing the specific amino acid to the site of translation or for protein synthesis. A particular tRNA will bind with a particular amino acid only. Such a tRNA is called cognate tRNA. We use the word here, cognate tRNA. The relationship between amino acid and tRNA is cognitive. That means they are specific with each other. Phenylalanine anticodon will not carry valine. Valine anticodon tRNA will not carry glutamic acid. So they have got what is that specificity. That specificity is known as cognitiveness or cognitive nature, it can be called. So tRNAs are cognate with their amino acid. Remember that point. Let us go for translation process. Process of translation I am going to discuss. Before that, just I told you about tRNA. We know now about mRNA structure. It has got a transcription unit. It has got 5' end, 3' end. In mRNA, we have come across promoter and terminator flanked with or flanking that structural GNA, we can say. That structural DNA or structural gene has got codons. Each codon is a triplet in nature. Each triplet will code for one amino acid. To recognize that codon, you need some translator. Otherwise, you need some adapter. That translator or adapter is having the anticodon here. I hope you appreciate the relationship between mRNA, tRNA and amino acid. tRNA plays an important role in this case. We shall continue now. Just listen. So, after learning about cognitive nature of tRNA, we can come to some interesting aspects now. Just try to understand this point. There is a DNA molecule. This DNA molecule has got 2 strands in it. The strand with 3', 5' end will act as a template we have seen. Imagine now, template has got this type of arrangement of nucleotides. Imagine. There is adenine in the template, cytosine, then what is that? Thymine, then guanine, another cytosine, adenine, cytosine, like that. There is an arrangement of template. Forget about coding strand. This is the coding strand. It will be in 5', 3' direction. Okay. This is what is the template strand. This template strand will produce mRNA. You may be remembering mRNA is formed by a process called transcription. So from DNA template, by transcription we get mRNA. mRNA will be complementary to the template. Of course, it will be identical to the coding strand. This is the coding strand, and this is what is that template strand, and it will produce complementary mRNA. Here adenine means complementary to that uracil will be present because RNA will not carry thymine. Here cytosine means it will have guanine. Here thymine means adenine. Again cytosine. Again guanine. Like this, they will be carrying their own what is that complementary bases here. So remember, there are 9 nucleotides I have written. Each a group of 3 nucleotides will form a codon. Remember, these are called codons. So mRNA contains codons. mRNA contains codons. Now, how many tRNA will bind with this mRNA means? Listen carefully. How many tRNA will bind with this mRNA means? With this codon, 1 tRNA will bind here. tRNA, just now I told you, it has got 3 loops like this. Now this is 1 tRNA. Okay, this is another tRNA. Third tRNA, it is having like this. Imagine. Each tRNA will be having anticodon, I told you. Suppose uracil is there, here adenine will be there. Instead of guanine, cytosine, instead of uracil, adenine, uracil. So this tRNA will have ACU anticodon for it. It is here amino acid will bind, that is okay. But anticodon I am writing here, it is ACU anticodon. ACU like that. What about this tRNA for this codon means? Instead of C it will have G. G instead of G it will have complementary C and here A. So G, C and A will be present here for the second tRNA anticodon. Third tRNA, GGC is there means it will be CCG it will become. CCG it will become, that is anticodon. So codons are in mRNA, anticodons are in tRNA, remember. So I told you now in this diagram, the relation between DNA, mRNA and tRNA. Do you get this point? DNA is here, mRNA is here and tRNA. What is the relationship if you just observe? Please listen. The ACU anticodon is similar to ACT of the template. Instead of thymine, uracil will be present, that's all. It is ACT only. The see what is that GCA anticodon. Here what is present in the mRNA, DNA, same GCA is present. Do you get this point? Here CCG, here also CCG. So remember, DNA and anticodon, they become similar. Anticodon is similar to DNA except thymine or except uracil. Except uracil, it will be similar to the DNA molecule. Anticodon of the tRNA, which is ACU, here also ACT, which is GCA, here also GCA. Template of DNA and anticodon of tRNA are similar to each other. So anticodon of tRNA and DNA template, they are equal to each other, they are similar to each other except uracil. Try to understand the importance of a master molecule called DNA. Ultimately, it is the tRNA which is similar to that what is the DNA we can say. Same tRNA or same anticodon will be complementary to the codon of mRNA. Second point I am telling here, anticodon of tRNA is complementary to the DNA, otherwise, complementary to the codon of mRNA. Remember this point. So, mRNA and anticodon, codon of mRNA, anticodon of tRNA are complementary. Whereas anticodon of tRNA and template of DNA are similar to each other. Just like in the previous coding strand and mRNA we spoke. So mRNA will be similar to coding strand but complementary to the template. Try to understand the relations between these nucleic acids here. DNA has got a template and coding strand. Template will be similar to anticodon. Coding strand will be similar to mRNA. Remember this point. So how the nucleic acids are related to each other, how they govern each other, we have to understand in this point. This is the basic idea related to the translation. Still one more point we have to see. The translation is nothing but a formation of protein. That protein synthesis will be taking place in the ribosome. So structure of ribosome I am going to deal here now. Make note of this point. DNA, mRNA, tRNA. How they are related to each other. DNA, mRNA and tRNA. That is what here I gave in this condition. And Robert Hawley proposed the structure of tRNA molecule. I will continue with the structure of ribosome here. Okay, just a minute. So, anticodon of tRNA is similar to DNA except uracil. Similar to DNA template except uracil. Similarly, anticodon of tRNA is complementary to the codon of mRNA. Anticodon of tRNA is complementary to codon of mRNA. Remember. This is the major point. You can then only understand the process of translation. Okay. Let me rub this one. We shall continue. So what are the other names for tRNA? Adapter RNA, soluble RNA or supernatant RNA it can be called. Okay. Let me tell you about the translation in detail. We now know about structure of DNA, structure of mRNA and structure of tRNA. Let us see about ribosome structure. Before that, you must know translation means what. Definition I will tell you now. Later I will explain you about the steps involved in translation. What is translation? It is polymerization of amino acids. It is given. In your textbook, it is given as polymerization of amino acids. What will you get if you polymerize amino acid? What is polymerization? Joining of amino acid. When you join many amino acids like this, there are 20 types, but you can join hundreds of that, what is that number also. 20 types are there, but they will be repeated in permutation combination. You will be getting one one amino acid chain. This chain is called as polypeptide chain, it will be called. Polynucleotide chain is different, polypeptide chain is different. Listen here, what is translation? Polymerization of amino acid to produce a polypeptide chain. For producing this polypeptide chain, what are the things you need? We need with the help of, how do you get polymerization? It will be done with the help of ribosomes, tRNA, then some enzymes and some enzymes. When all these things are used, we get polymerization or polypeptide chain. You need ribosome, you need tRNA and enzyme. Of course, amino acids are there. So when polymerization of amino acid with the help of ribosome, tRNA and enzyme to get a polypeptide chain is called translation. You are getting a polypeptide chain by using amino acid as the raw material. And who will help for that formation, for the synthesis of that polypeptide chain? Ribosome, tRNA and enzymes will be helping for that process. Okay, now listen, the structure of ribosome plays an important role here. Before going in detail about translation, we must know about the structure of ribosomes in this case. Ribosome. You know that ribosome is the membraneless organelle present in the cells. Both prokaryotes and eukaryotes have that ribosome. Both plant and animals have that ribosome. So ribosomes are very important structure. In the lower class you might have heard, these ribosomes can be measured, or their size can be, or their weight can be measured by an unit called Swedberg unit. Swedberg unit. That is 70S ribosome and 80S ribosome, like that. Two types of ribosomes we can distinguish. Based on their sedimentation ability, when you centrifuge the cellular content, ribosomes will sediment according to their weight. Some of the ribosomes are belonging to 70 years, some are belonging to 80 years. 70 years ribosomes are found in prokaryotic cells. Remember this point. They are found in prokaryotes. 80 years ribosomes are present in eukaryotes. Remember this point. Eukaryotes contain 80 years ribosome. Prokaryotes contain 70 years ribosome. Whatever be the type of ribosome, whatever be the Swedberg unit of the ribosome, each ribosome organelle has got two subunits in it. Each ribosome has got two subunits. There will be one larger subunit like this and one smaller subunit like this. They are present. There are larger subunit and smaller subunit present in the ribosome. When the cell is not undergoing translation, when the cell is not producing any protein, remember, this larger and smaller subunit will be independently occurring here and there. They are not always remain together. They will be independently suspended in the cytoplasm or in the protoplasm. During the time of translation, they will join with each other. They will become a complete ribosome. So the subunits occur independently in the cytosol when there is no translation. Whenever translation takes place, the two subunits will unite together. Okay. In the larger subunit, if you see means, of course, what is there in that ribosome? What is that ribosome made up of? Please listen. Ribosomes are made up of rRNA mainly. Now I am talking about the third type of RNA. mRNA we have seen, it gives you transcription unit. tRNA, I told you, it is a clover leaf structure, adapter molecule. rRNA will be found in the ribosomal subunit. They are present in the ribosomal subunit. They give characteristic structure, maintain the structure of the ribosomal subunit. Not only rRNA, there are around 80 types of protein molecules are also present. 80 protein molecules are also present in the ribosomes here and there. So rRNA is found in the ribosome and 80 proteins are found in the ribosome. Some of the rRNAs can function as catalyst also. For example, there is one rRNA called 23S rRNA, it will be called. This 23S rRNA is acting like a catalyst, or it is acting like an enzyme in the cells. What is the name of that enzyme means? It is called ribozyme. We are telling. Ribozyme is nothing but one type of rRNA. So rRNA not only maintain the shape of or structure of ribosome, some of them can act as enzyme also. When I was telling you about RNA polymerase enzyme, I told you RNA polymerase 1 will give you rRNAs. There I mentioned 18 years, 23 years, 5.8 years, like that and all. They are different types of rRNAs. Some of them can work as catalyst or enzyme also. Example is ribozyme. Okay. So ribosome is made up of 80 proteins and rRNA in it. In addition to this, there are two windows present in the ribosome like this. In the ribosome we come across two areas, two slots or two windows like this. In larger subunit of ribosome, there are two windows or two slits are present here. One of the windows is called as P site, we are telling. Let me write it here. P site it can be called. Where are they present? They are present in the larger subunit, not in the smaller subunit. Another site is called as, another window is called as A site, it can be called. So there are two slits, two openings present here. One is called A site, another one is called P site. What is the speciality of this A site and P site? In the A site only, amino acids will enter into the ribosome. What are amino acids? They are the raw materials. We have to polymerize them. So amino acid will enter into this factory through this gate only. That gate is called A gate, we can say. A site, it will receive the amino acid. What is the role of P site means? Here only peptide bond will be synthesized actually. Peptide bond. What is peptide bond? That is the bond present between the amino acid. So amino acid will come and enter into the A site. Then it will be joined by means of peptide bond at the P site. So A site and P site are two important openings present in the ribosomes or larger subunit, we can see. This becomes the ribosome structure. Of course, I told you 70S ribosome and 80S ribosome like that. In 70S ribosome, larger subunit, let me write here, 70S ribosome has got two subunits. Larger subunit will be of 50S, smaller subunit will be of 30S, remember. That is 50 plus 30 is not 80, here it becomes 70S when they join together. This is the sedimentation quotient, this is the smaller subunit. This is a larger subunit, we can say. They will become 70S ribosome in the case of prokaryotes, remember. In eukaryotes, what is present? 80S ribosome. 80S ribosome is made up of 60s plus 40s subunits we can see. Larger subunit is 60s, smaller subunit is 40s in the 80s ribosome. So they will vary in the Svedberg quotient and they will be helping for protein synthesis. The steps involved in protein synthesis we are going to study in the next class. That is called steps of translation, we can say. So I hope you understand the outline of this lesson here. We studied about DNA molecule, their structure, duplex model. Then we went for search for genetic material and giving experimental proof that DNA is the genetic material. Then we saw what is replication, how the replication is done by semi-conservative mechanism in the DNA. After studying about replication, we came to transcription. In transcription, mRNA is produced from DNA. Then we are starting with translation. Between translation and transcription, we studied about genetic code. We have learnt about genetic code. We have learnt about the structure of a tRNA molecule. Just now I told you cloverleaf model. Then we studied about or we learned about this ribosome structure also. Now we know the outline of translation. We know that there are 20 types of amino acids. They should be joined by peptide bond and created as polypeptide chain. Who are all helping for that process? Ribosome will help, tRNA will help, and enzymes will do the help here. Of course, it is also energy requiring process. So we need energy source also for this condition. So already I told you about ribosome and tRNA. Regarding enzymes and energy, we will study in the next class. Okay. In the next lecture, I will tell you about steps involved in translation. Okay. Let me stop with this today. We will continue later.